Well, folks, doing something a little bit different. You can see I got wood, and I'm not a very good carpenter, but I just have, I don't know, there's a little side project. I basically, a while ago, I picked up this thing. So, heads up, this is not really car related or anything, but. So anyways, I picked up like a legit pinball machine, and this thing has been the bomb. So, I have upstairs like one of these things called an ad game, is like a pre-bought mini pinball machine you can get. So it's quite a bit smaller than this. This thing though is just, it does all the bits. It's got the feeling, it's got all the fancy bells and whistles, and the one upstairs just doesn't have the same vibe. So there's a thing called digital pinballs. So the one upstairs is an electronic pinball machine. I want to try to build one where I kind of use a 43-inch screen. So I basically want to build something similar to these dimensions, but more of a modern pinball machine. So I like this. If you've never played a real one, yeah, they can't be beat. But I want to try to mimic this on as much of a budget as you can, because these machines go for a lot of money. I think, well, not this particular one, but ones like that usually go for, I don't know, a couple grand. Like, I shouldn't say a couple grand, like thousands of dollars. Like you can get them for up to 10 grand. I think you can buy them new. I don't know. They're a lot. I know used on Marketplace, they're anywhere from $2,500 to $9,000. So, and that's just one machine. So they do make digital ones, but they're the ones like I want to build. They're like $10,000+. So I'm like, the big thing about that is you can have one table and you can have like hundreds, thousands of different pinball machines on it. So that's basically what I'm shooting for. So basically I got a little bit of stuff here. I'm waiting on a few other parts, and then I'm going to basically take a crack at doing it on the cheap, see what I can do. There's a lot of parts you can all buy, but my plan is I'm gonna make the legs. I'm gonna make whatever they call this lockdown, the side rails, the cabinet. Try to make as much of it as I can. So let's see how far it goes. First of all, I'm not a very good carpenter, but I'm gonna base it on, I guess they call it like a Williams style pinball. Like this is I think that one's like 63, that particular machine. So at least I have it for the dimensions and stuff. But yeah, the goal is you kind of run 3 monitors, or at least that's the way I'm going to do it. There's going to be a TV screen here. There'll be a little screen here, a bigger one there, which they call for the back glass. So usually your artwork will sit up on top. The other one will do your scores. And then you have your speakers on the side. And yeah, I want it to be like this tall and have this kind of vibe. So let's see if I can do it. Alrighty. So, I'm not great at this, but I managed to cut this. Somehow I screwed up a measurement, but it was to the plus side, so that's a win. I just shaved off what I needed. We did 2 buttons over here. Well, we're going to. I'm going to wait for the buttons to come before I totally commit. I'm pretty sure they're a 3/4 inch hole, but I don't know. So we just did these. I guess on the digital tables or some of the modern tables, you have just a regular flipper button, and then there's a second button that sometimes on your screen has actions and stuff to do. I mean, if you're a bit of a pinball nerd, then this will all make sense, but if you're not, this is probably not the video for you. You're probably not going to enjoy this one at all, but anyways, I'm waiting for my screen to come because they have the dimension for the front door, but because I'm going to be making all of these things, I can kind of just make things a little bit bigger. I guess this is a smaller cabinet. I think this thing's only 20 inches wide, if I'm right. I don't remember. 22. This is 22 inches wide, so my one upstairs I think is like 15 or something like that. Like it's really small. Like I'm gonna have a 43-inch screen and my one upstairs is a 32-inch. So it does the job, but it just doesn't have the real feel. What I'm planning to do with the table is going to be, there'll be like speakers. There's going to be everything in there to mimic a real table, that you should have the same feel and whatever enjoyment, I guess is a good way to put it. It's going to have like solenoids in it. It's going to have like speakers to emulate where the ball's rolling around on the table and stuff like that. I don't know. It's pretty neat. I haven't personally played a big table like that. I just have like, say, my one upstairs, and this one we're doing it in 4K. So if, you know, on a nerdy term, it should be pretty accurate, pretty good. I don't know. It should be pretty awesome. I don't know. We're going to find out. So anyways, I'm just waiting for that TV to come in, and I'm just kind of basically having a slow day here. I'm semi in my good clothes, but not really, because I don't have a lot of time to actually jump in and fully work on anything. So yeah, this is what I'm doing today. All right, folks, did some rearranging, but it's about as far as we got on our little side project. My legs did not work out as well as I thought, but I don't know. This cabinet just feels bigger. I found a design online and I built that, and I guess it's similar to the new cabinets, but man, it's big when you compare it to that one. But concept works. I'm basically to the point where I'm waiting on parts because I'm supposed to have a plunger and things like that. I don't mind this, but I kind of feel it's kind of high. I almost want to actually somehow figure out how to swank it down, but I think I got to change the sides the way it is, because the way they instructed to do the 2-button dealio, it's kind of where my screen is and blah blah blah. It's okay, but it feels like it'd be better if I stand up here. It looks nicer, like it feels nicer, so I don't know if I should be taking this screen and if I should have just mounted it down kind of thing, or I don't know, kind of started lower and worked my way up or something. I'm not sure, but it's pretty neat. Like you say, you got all the bits here and it just does whatever. Then from here, like I say, you can actually like go out and then you have like multiple options. I'm kind of just experimenting with this thing, but so you have like all these different tables on here and stuff like that. So these are different. Not really a lot of old school stuff, but whatever. I'm gonna change that all. This is just all I had that I could try to get this thing up and going and bird around with it, see how I like it. Well, on this project, I felt like I was going to switch this up, do multi-video, but I don't know how much interest is in this, so we're just going to keep powering on. So last time you seen this, I think I was making this stuff. I made this rail, I made the side rails. We got the screens in, so, and you haven't seen, I actually splashed a bunch of paint on it. I need some more paint, but at least it's one color, it's not all blotchy. I took the legs off. I wasn't happy with the way they were. Plus, I understanding now, because I don't know any better, why that you have to put the holes through the side like that, because just putting the screws is just not strong enough. So we got to support something inside, and we got to run a drill holes through the side that look more like that. So I have a little pattern. I'm going to cut some more of those out later. Right now it works really fine on this table. I get to go up and down, do whatever I want. Principle, concept, everything works. I'm probably going to switch the buttons around, do some stuff. I finally got a whole bunch more stuff in, so this is my little block doodad thing that's supposed to make all the, like basically it's full of car solenoids. So we got 6, and then we're just gonna have 10. So there's a bunch in the middle that'll mimic like these things. Whenever you hit them, you're gonna feel it, hear it, click, bang, do that. There's gonna be 2 for where the plunges are, so they'll be close by your triggers, like your buttons here. When you go, you're gonna feel a clickety click. And then when everything bounces off those things, that's where we'll have another set of solenoids. Just gotta wait for that to turn off. Okay, so what I gotta basically do now is I gotta tear this thing all apart. Like, I know it works, I've been playing it. You know, I gotta do a little bit of a computer upgrade. It's not quite powerful enough for what I want. Works fine though. But we're gonna come in, I got a whole bunch of stuff now. So I'm gonna change out some cables. I'm gonna change out some of the buttons just so we have some better options of things that we're gonna do on the side and whatnot. I got some cables. We're actually going to put some speakers and stuff in there because I believe I talked about that before, but we have some amps and speakers and some stuff like that. So we got to basically try to fit everything nicely and pretty in there. Everything's just thrown in there loose right now. We got these lights that are going to go on, and that's what this board all controls everything. So that's how this is all going to work. I'll leave links to stuff that I know if people are actually interested. If this is actually something people are really interested in, I'm thinking of actually doing another build, but be very, very much more detailed would be the idea, right? I'm being very loose with this whole build. Anyways, yeah, so we're going to start with basically, we're going to just hammer on the time lapse. The plan is I'm taking this off, these side rails off. We're pulling this, I might pull the front rail off first. But I want to get in there, mark it so I know where my screen is, so I don't make anything too tall. And then I'm trying to make everything fit in here. It's kind of the plan, and try to make it semi-pretty. That's kind of the goal. I'm going to punch a couple holes in the bottom so I can grab some air. It'll be able to pull air out because it's going to get pretty hot in there. Right, buddy? It's going to get pretty hot in there. Anyways, on that note, let's get started. Well, I wasn't really going to bore you with all of that, but we'll see how this, if it works. I have to get some more crimps to be able to do some cable management because everything's kind of just hanging here right now. But anyways, this thing's in, it's powered up. I don't know what it does yet. Got our speakers, our amps here. Yeah, solenoids everywhere. It's a mess, but I guess all we can do right now is just put it back together and, I don't know, just see if it does stuff. What are we doing? Yeah, I have to do the front yet. I gotta make an access panel so I can get at that stuff. So I got a little door thing that I want to put into there. So we might put some buttons into this thing directly, but at least we can get in, change the volumes of stuff. That's kind of the idea. And, well, I don't know. We're gonna kind of progress here and see what happens. I did pick up a piece of glass today, so it'll have like this kind of a thing over top covering the screen. So I'll finally be able to peel this protector off, and we'll stick that piece of glass in there, clean it up, drop it in, and see what happens. All right, folks, here it is. I know I skipped a lot. There was not a lot of detail with this, but I basically am proving that I'm not a very good carpenter and I can figure some of this stuff out, but yeah, I actually made this work. So you can see the legs. I reused the bottoms and then I just cut these tops. They're similar. I don't have the right bolts in there yet, but I have there. All we did is I just gave it a ground finish and just hit it with some like satin clear. Other than here, these are getting pretty polished from us always kind of playing. I realized I didn't video any of this, but this is literally just some sheet metal that I bent and broke over the side. It goes here. It's got a little clink. We got the glass. I don't have a seal or anything in there, so I want to do that yet. I do dig these lights, so I'm probably going to get some lights to put all on the side. I think they call them, they're indexable or something, so that you can the computer can control each light individual up the side with these, because I thought this would be kind of hokey, but this really does add to the playing of the game and stuff like that. There's a lot of buttons, but essentially what they do, these are the regular old pinball buttons to do stuff, but these ones, some games had a second button. I don't know if it was like to shoot the ball somewhere or do whatever. So these are in there. And then these are just basic functions to do things like this goes out of a game. This selects a game. These are just different menu buttons. We have our coin button and our start when you're in there. And then we have our regular plunger, which I never showed, but this thing's digitally got a dealio on there, and it has like a tilt, if that makes sense. It's got an option on there where you can actually, when you bump the table, the ball will actually move. So sometimes when a ball gets hung up, you can actually shake the cabinet to get the ball off, or usually if it's coming down, you want to give it a little tap to try to catch it. You can do that with this setup. So inside I have like a basic little USB controller thing you can buy off Amazon. It's like $20 or whatever it is. And it controls all the buttons, and the computer just thinks it's a joystick, so that's how all the buttons work. So in here, for example, like we have, you can kind of see when I bump the table around, the ball will actually move around and dance like a real pinball table. So it's kind of cool. I got this one, is similar. I was curious how this one played to an original, and it's pretty much the same, other than I'm thinking that's how the table is supposed to be played. This one, I think everything is worn out in it, so weird things happen, but it's still a hoot to play this thing, like, without a doubt. Anyways, yeah, that's about where we're at with this one. If a guy wants to know more about these, I plan to maybe build another one yet, because I just feel I've learned a lot and I can make it better, and I just like to build new stuff, and I could possibly sell this one and use the funds to actually build a much better one using more original parts. All I know is I enjoy the crap out of it. It's awesome. I like it. It does all the bits, and I'm not tied to, for the amount I have in this thing, I haven't actually factored it all in, but it's like I could buy, I think the last time I looked, it was like $3,000 or $3,500, which sounds like a lot, but that's what pinball machines go for one. And I have like 100 different machines on here right now, different tables. So it is what it is. You can take it for what it's worth, but you can make these as big or as small as you wanted. After playing that one, I just like the authenticity. Like I like the size of the table, like a real one. I have one upstairs, which I had bought, which is a digital one, but it's like a half size of this, and it works, but it just didn't have all the same bells and whistles that I put in here. Like this one, when you hit the flippers, you actually hear that now, and you feel it, because that's that solenoid that's in there. And then these things, when you kind of go, you hear the ball noise and everything. So every time you hear that, you can hear the car solenoids going along with all those weird speakers that I put in. They actually mimic, so you can actually hear the ball roll around the table, and they give feedback as well. So I don't know. This was my big nerd project, and I don't know, I'm pretty happy with it. It does everything it does. Everybody that's played it has thought it's been pretty awesome too. So again, I can always do a bigger video if I do another one. Let me know. I don't know, maybe there's no interest. If it's something you're wanting to attempt or try, there's a feller out there, and I'll try to leave a link. I was going to leave a link to all this stuff, but it's probably easier to go to this feller's channel and follow his build. It's The Way of the Wrench, I believe, is his channel, but I'll leave a link. He actually has a whole, like a playlist, start to finish, building one of these, very detailed. I've used his videos a lot when I struggled with some things, trying to figure him out. So, it is what it is, eh? Anyways, folks, I think that is where we are going to leave this one. I really sped through everything, so it kind of just is what it is. But yeah, it was kind of one of my little side projects that became an obsession, and I had to get it all finished and working. And so anyways, folks, on that note, I want to thank you all for watching, and we will catch you on the next one. Later.